If you want to reach the next big influencer in higher education, it actually starts with understanding who's raising the next generation of students. The millennial parenting style is completely different from previous generations. Inside the household, they give their children a lot more say in decisions. Those choices are a household matter. This means that parents are influencing the big decision in a completely different way. I'm Alan McDevitt-Stredney, a creative director at Ology. We're a branding and marketing firm that focuses on higher education and organizations that create a better future. Generation Alpha is a landmark generation, the biggest and most diverse ever. Even though they are within shouting distance from smart speakers and a wide variety of technology within their home, you'd be surprised to know that their parents are actually their go-to source of information. In fact, their parents beat out YouTube, Google searches, TikTok, and social media. Even though they're mostly millennials, they're not all millennials. In fact, there are some Gen Zers, Gen Xers, and even boomers raising the next generation. These parents are used to changing their approach when new information presents itself. That's because of the rapidly changing world in which they've also grown up in and where they're raising their children. A lot of this happened during the pandemic. They became teachers, friends, coaches. They had to play all the different roles on top of their daily parenting responsibilities. This started to shift the parent-child dynamic in a very different way that we haven't seen from previous generations. By now, we may think this dynamic and the effects of the pandemic are gone, but they're not really. Parents give their children a lot more agency in their upbringing. So think of it more as a partnership versus a dictatorship. This looks less like because I told you so, and a little bit more of, let me explain why. They offer a voice and a vote in many of the household decisions, and for this reason, these two generations are closer emotionally than we've seen with previous parenting styles. This is a generation of parents that knew that technology isn't going anywhere. So rather than outlawing technology in the household, they fully integrated it. Think about it. They're working from home using technology, and their children have grown up around technology. This can look like while the family is at the dinner table eating, Generation Alpha's gaming character is in the other room on their iPad. Generation Alpha looks at these two experiences as absolutely seamless. In fact, 65% of the activities in the household are completely digital based. Bottom line, the parents of Generation Alpha are giving their children a voice and a vote in family decisions. This creates a sense of collaboration and agency that we haven't seen before. As a result, Alphas are emotionally closer to their parents than we've seen with previous generations. Because parents are the first go-to resource for answers and advice, this puts them in a pivotal position when it comes to the big college decision. Of the parents we talked to, 69% strongly believe in the value of a college education. In fact, 56% of them are already talking to their kids about it. Although their opinions aren't end-all be-all, these parents could be your most helpful recruiters on the front lines, if you prepare them. Here's how. Connect early, intentionally, and efficiently. The more you can arm these parents with information that's accessible, helpful, and transparent, the more likely they're going to be to engage with your institution. They'll also be more inclined to share that information with their kids as they navigate the admissions process together. To effectively reach these parents, use email first, but remember it's a crowded inbox, so you'll need to stand out. And then lean into your social media channels to share valuable information. Next, devote a significant amount of time to your parent emails. Rather than CCing them on generic information, try crafting thoughtful, unique, tailored messaging that's specific for their role in this process. Address their worries and concerns. Make sure you're standing out in that very crowded inbox. Use a warm and welcoming tone. Summarize complicated information for them. And most importantly, make them feel like they can answer their children's questions. Third, even though parents prefer to be reached by email, nothing replaces that face-to-face interaction. Create events or gatherings specifically for those parents, even before their children are in the admissions funnel. At those events, get their contact information and learn more about them. Mail is especially important in rural regions where internet may not be as dependable and those in-person visits can be a little bit more complicated to plan. When it comes to addressing the parents' concerns, financials, academics, and safety are good topics to start with. When it comes to finances, they're wondering, will we be able to afford this? What are the expenses that we're not seeing? So make sure you're clearly stating the total cost of tuition, books, fees, all of the expenses. What financial aid options are there, grants and scholarships? Make sure you're breaking down all the acronyms and don't assume anyone knows all of the terminology you're using. When it comes to safety, parents are going to be looking for information about campus safety measures, security protocols, and other actions taken to promote a safe learning environment. When it comes to academics, parents care about, what will my student study? Will my kid get accepted into the program? Will they be able to adjust to college life? Did we pick the right major and pick the right school? And will the major and school they picked set them up for long-term success? So make sure you clearly state subjects offered, majors available, courses you can take, and the academic quality. Job placement rates and internship opportunities. What does career counseling look like? And what's the potential for success after their student graduates? So remember, preparing the parents is the first step in recruiting their children. What would you tell them if they were already an extension of your recruiting team? Help them be the great parents they already are. The more you can equip them with the right information, the more they can champion your institution when their children come asking.